riders know that this horse could be dangerous around you and your horse.
They don't put it on the nose. The nose end you're not too worried about. It's that tail end. That's the end that'll get you in trouble.
That's where they do the kicking. So anyhow, we had a good time.
How about LHC Group? Oh no, we're gonna wait. I gotta wait on that one. I gotta come back to that. How about this thing? How about Pete Huval? We got a nice little note from him running for state representative as District 46 that he's running for down a little bit south of here. I guess that's
New Iberia.
Yeah, New Iberia area. We got a nice note about him. We're trying to figure out who he was. Well, his dad is Bill Huval, married to Ethel, and then he's married to Vicky Collette, who's the daughter of Rose Hayes from Port Barry. So it's a good connection, good local type thing. And I see they're going to have a fundraiser at Poche's and Party, and you get to meet him at Poche's on March 17th at 5:45 p.m. That's Poche's at Poche Bridge, right
and
down
Rayfield
there.
Trustclair from Opelousas brought
so
that.
Thank you for keeping us informed about the local people. That's local connections.
I tell you what, he has an office, an insurance office next to Sabille Funeral Home there, the Huval Insurance Agency. That's his. I understand that he purchased the personal lines portion of the Huval Agency, and the commercial, Tommy and the family and all of them, they sold to Brown and Brown, I think some years ago. And by the way, he's, I think it's Tommy. I think I'm using the right name. I know Tommy. I think it's him. Has a big position with Brown and Brown now. He's over maybe 2 or 3 states in the development of business.
They were a big operation here in South Louisiana for years.
They are.
We got this right here. Charles and Antonia Lilly, the Memorial Scholarship for St. Larry Parish High School seniors. It's a $1,000 scholarship given by the Knights of Columbus Council 1173. You have till April 30th to apply. Call Ken Thibodeau, 942-2736.
How about Buddy Roma ponders presidency? Do you know he's up in one of these states right now?
Did you read? They had them all speak, and when the local writers wrote about it, they said he was the best spoken guy of the group.
No kidding.
Oh yeah, I mean he's not no dummy.
No. He knows his politics. His old daddy Charles Roma was in with all the best of the politicians back in those days. So anyhow, it's kind of interesting. We don't get into politics too much, but I thought that's very interesting. And carrying a family tradition, the local Opelousas Rotary Club named Charlie Fontenot was honored as by the Opelousas Rotary. He was named the St. Landry Parish Farmer of the Year. And that was, of course, Gerard Perron doing the presentation. And I
looked at that picture, and I'm trying to figure out who that is, but now I got it.
Desatel is the St. Landry County agent. You see, I don't know Vince.
The young man, that's Tony Fontenot's son. Grandpa was Luna Fontenot.
Yeah, from Port
Barry.
From
the Waukesha area.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's correct.
And then the other side of the family.
It's 3rd generation.
That's right. And the other side of the family, the grandpa would be Charles Daniels.
Come on.
So now,
well,
I got the genealogy right. How you like that? I looked at him and I figured I had to know who that was.
That's some good bloodlines right there.
Oh, that's a lot of old-time farmers.
Yes, sir. Good people from the Port Barry area.
That's right. How about Steamboat Warehouse? If you're going between Port Barry and you're going around where Mr. Luna used to live, and you creep over to Washington on the backside, and your Vidrine's Furniture Store and all that in, you go to Steamboat Warehouse and get some great food. Maybe you got family coming in to visit. Maybe you want to get just a little bit of seafood at this time of the year. I know seafood's real popular. Crawfish are in season. Steamboat Warehouse has got all that for you. They got the steaks too as well. If you're not a seafood eater, they got a great wine selection. The weather right now is just gorgeous to go outside. You know, temperature's not too hot, not too cold. You can sit out on the wharf and have an adult libation. Talk to chef owner Jason Hughey there at Steamboat Warehouse. And one more sponsor, LHC Group. LHC Group, all your home health care needs, and that's the therapists, the doctors, the people that provide you with the bed, the oxygen equipment. They do all that stuff. Whatever you need for home health care, rehab type work, they can do that for you through Louisiana Healthcare Group. They've also got the extended care service with the hospital within the hospital at like Opelousas General Hospital here, where you're not good enough to go home yet, but you don't need that heavy, intense ER or a nurse on top of you the whole time. You can kind of have that interim type thing, which you've done the extended care type thing when you had hip surgery done quite a few years ago.
I sure
so
did.
Louisiana Healthcare Group, all about helping people.
By the way, I want to thank somebody for thinking about me recently. And they think about me at this time every year. And I'm speaking of Andrew and Sabrina and the children, the Guitro family. This year, y'all outdid yourselves. I still have some chocolate candies left from the big, I should have brought the box, but I was loaded down. But they had a box sitting on my bed. When I get there, it's always in my room. He gets there before I do for the retreat. And of course, now he has to get there quite a bit earlier because he's the Capitan of our group, and you did a good job.
Well, thank you.
I heard some very favorable comments during the lunch.
Well, I've been lucky, and I learned a lot from Dr. Lucius Doucette, that was our captain for 25 years. I've only been going 13, but saw him do a good job. And then you know, we always thank you for me going to the retreat each year, because you're the guy that got me started going all those years ago. So.
Yep. But anyhow, that was very, very nice, and I like this card. It looks like
it's cut off.
It's cut off. Thank you very much. But you have to kind of figure it out. You have to be able to read. But anyhow, thank you all very much. That was appreciated.
The Crowley Rice Theater is having On the Path. It's a celebration of spiritual journey, music, dance, and drama. It's going to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, March 25th. No. Friday and Saturday, March 25th and 26th. They're going to do a 7 p.m. on Friday, then on Saturday they're going to do 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. over at the Rice Theater with Sheridan Productions. $10 admission. Kids go under 6 at no charge. You can call them at 298-7654. It's a charity event too. All the proceeds will go to a pregnancy center and clinic to help people who are doing all they can to take care of babies. So very good.
What about you? We're always bragging about Palmetto and the LHC group.
Yeah, we had a little tragedy down there.
Y'all had a little tragedy. You knew any of these people?
Yeah. I mean, Palmetto's a small community, so I knew that people just one of those man and woman not getting along type of thing, and that's never good.
No, and I see where the Palmetto mayor. How old was he when he got elected mayor the first time? Jeff Bernard.
Young man, I guess late 20s.
Yeah, very nice.
Maybe, or early 30s. I mean, just young man, but you know, raised right there.
He was on the scene right away. Freddie Herpin has him on the front page of the Daily World, helping the police department, and I guess he knew those people. Wouldn't be a bit surprised if one or more of them didn't work for one of that companies.
That's
there.
Right. If not directly, you know, a sibling, the parents, and of course, young Jeff is a fourth generation Bernard in the Palmetto area. His great grandpa, I think, was the first one to come from one of those Scandinavian countries to settle here in this area.
I did hear that.
With the Moss Gin, the old People's Moss Gin.
That's PMG?
That's right. How about this? We talked about the Man-to-Men's Conference, and you got something kind of related to this. Man-to-Men's Conference coming up April 30th at the Cajun Dome. You can go to man2mancc.com. It's through the diocese. They're going to have Rudy, the best-known alumni from the University of Notre Dame, who wanted to play football all those years and finally got in his last game. You've seen that motivational movie about Rudy. And Jesse Romero, the kickboxer, is going to be there to speak as well. But I was telling you that about 2 years ago, the speaker was Danny Obramowitz, who was the wide receiver with the Saints, I guess, for quite a few years.
Yeah.
Maybe the Falcons too for a little while.
And he was a troubled young man. Drugs, alcohol.
He liked the ball.
Had a lot of ability, but never got the full credit because he was kind of off the field.
Too much of a cut up off the field.
And then he started reading and got the holiness in his mind, and now he goes around the country motivational speaker, and the new player that could be the quarterback for LSU, Zach Mettenberger. I think his father suggested, grandfather asked Danny to give him a call, and they may have even visited in person. I'm not sure.
Both from the Steubenville, Ohio area originally, the grandpa and Danny Abramowitz, and they got to be friends growing up and all that, and went to college together, I think. And so Danny's talked to the young man. The young man had gotten some trouble in Georgia.
One little bad night.
One bad
Can you
night
imagine?
get you in a whole lot of trouble.
Whole lot of trouble. It was a misdemeanor, but even that, the coach got rid of him in Georgia, and you know, he seems to have had that one little event that took place in his life, and maybe
the last 2 years he's been clean.
Maybe the Tigers in Baton Rouge will be the benefactors.
Never know. Autism walk going on in Lafayette. The Walk for Hope and Family Fun is going to be, I know I got the date, March 26th on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Go to Park International in downtown Lafayette.
They had some schools that had little Mardi Gras events. Opelousas Catholic had a very spirited looking. They were well dressed out. And the Park Vista Parade every year. In fact, I was invited to attend that by Ulysses Jobert, the principal. Yes, and I see our City Councilman, Mr. Julius Alcindor, was riding in the Park Vista, pulling a little float. Maybe has children there, grandchildren, or just helping Ulysses out. But nevertheless, Mardi Gras is over, and now we start the Lenten season.
That's
40 days.
40 days. Opelousas General Health System is giving their scholarships for students who are in medical professions, medical records, office assistants, radiologic technology, respiratory therapy. You've got to be a St. Landry Parish resident to qualify. You've got till April the 12th. So go to OpelousasGeneral.com or call the foundation at Opelousas General 594-3499.
The annual 7-mile yard sale is slated for March 19th, and that starts Arneville to Grand Coteau this year. And it's going to be at 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's not this Saturday here, but the following Saturday. And we have spoken about it the 1 or 2 years they've held it, and I've met a few people that have attended, and they had a blast. So we're going to remind you again next week about this particular event. And
they're also still taking up donations. You remember Marcus Verrett, the soldier who came back from overseas, came down with cancer, and recently passed away with cancer.
Get me to write a check after this, please.
They are taking donations at all locations of Washington State Bank. There are also locations open at accounts open at Bank of Sunset, American Bank, and St. Landry. And it's also one other thing going on is the
wife Celeste. I know her.
Correct. And then at Mid-South Bank, they have the account for Gregory Washington, who's from Plaisance, your hometown. Okay. That's the one that had the heart, not the heart, but double lung transplant. Remember, he was in the paper and all that. Yeah. Still doing donations for him as well. You can call 942-3515 or send a check to Mid-South Bank as well.
Sure will. And it's just about that time.
About a minute.
I met a young man. He was the bellman at Beau Rivage when we went there for the Super Bowl weekend party, we call it.
Yes, sir.
His dad, the young man I met, is Sean Scherniger. I guess that's about the closest I can spell it. His daddy works at the Lafayette Airport. His dad is retired from the Air Force, so he didn't give me his dad's name, but if anybody knows, I guess the last name would be Scherniger. And he works at the Lafayette Airport. Anyhow, I'm sorry, Sean, I didn't mention this earlier.
Find your prayer. You're down to the 20 seconds.
Find my little prayer, all right? We found something in the book. We like to close the program by asking you to consider going to the church of your choice this weekend, and then we leave you with a little thought. Never suspect your brothers or sisters of any evil, for suspicion poisons the purity of one's heart, your own heart. If you have those bad feelings, it's your heart that suffers. We were told that in one of our conferences.
That's right.
Thanks for viewing. Thanks for listening. Have a nice weekend.